For those of you who think that in the US they only drive in circles, here's proof against it. Detroit Belle Isle right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to It's a Mod world where we test the different mods to see if they can add to your enjoyment. Today I'm gonna test an rFactor 2 mod for Detroit Belle Isle. Detroit, known as Motor City, as Motor Town, and as home of Motown, so now you know why the label took that name. It has seen open wheel racing already since the 1920s, but what would become Detroit Belle Isle in its modern form started in 1982, saw some changes, and it's still being used. If you want to know more about what mods are out there for your enjoyment and become part of the RomRom family, subscribe right now and click on the bell. So, Detroit Belle Isle, how is it gonna be? Let's check it out. Don't worry if you see Joe's wheel when you start the mod. Something went wrong when making the mod. Hey, it happens, but it's still Detroit Belle Isle. I think the tarmac looks a little bit strange, and in general the graphics are not as polished as they are in other mods. That's not to say that the mod maker hasn't put work into it, but it seems this mod was made for an older version of rFactor 2. The flags are static, and these are typical American pits. This is a typical city track in that you don't have many places where to overtake, and the space between the walls is quite small. You'll be playing a game of chicken against the wall to see who moves first. I fear it's gonna be you. Let's see how near you dare to go to the wall and how late you dare to brake. The tarmac is too smooth, so you have to be careful with the throttle. I hope when many cars have passed, the tarmac has more grip. Depending on the car that you're driving here, you may want to go easy also on the curbs, as with this car with an open wheeler, the curbs unsettle the car enormously, so do some tests. Whoa! One thing that speaks for this mod is that while it's not very strong, there is some force feedback there, and in this scene I felt how the tires were losing grip. Surprisingly, we start as always at the start and end straight, then comes along right, followed by a sharp left, a straight, and put yourself to the left because the next one's a 90-degree right. Careful with the curb. Then a straight. A 90 degrees right, whoops. Longish 90 degrees left, almost directly a 90 degrees right. Very long right, almost a straight. A little bit of left turn, but careful. Brake at the bridge because the next one's a 90 degrees right, and here's a dangerous curve. A small right followed by a left straight. Left straight-ish left combination. A right, is it 90 degrees? A straight. Right again. Small straight, yet another right, a straight. Here's the entrance to the pits. Train it, it's not an easy one. A soft right, and we're back to the start and end straight. This is a typical city track with lots of 90-degree turns, but I really like the flow of this track. And take a look at the races here. This is a track where yellow flags abound, and of course lots of crashes happen because they drive quite fast, and while the track is not as narrow as Monaco, it's narrow enough to make you pay for every error. These people look strange, they look like stormtroopers or something like that. Heidi, I am driving Heidi. Kuchibue wa naze tokumade kikoeru no. I would have loved to drive a couple of rounds against the AI, but as you can see, yeah, that happens. You really have to be brave to race in this track. It is not an easy track, but it has a good flow and in parts it can be quite fast. I'm pretty sure that when this mod was released it looked quite good, but in the meantime rFactor 2 has moved on and now it looks a little bit outdated. Nevertheless, you can see that there was a lot of work put into the mod. For the look, I give it 4 eyes out of 5. I'm pretty sure an update of the look would make it a 5 out of 5, but that's not what I tested. As you could see, you cannot race against the AI. I would give it 0 out of 5. On the other hand, racing on this track is gonna be a lot of fun. For the racing, I give it 4 cars out of 5, but only for races, not against the AI. I had some force feedback feeling, and this track is not easy to drive, even if it has a good flow, also because the tarmac is a little bit too slippery for my tasting. All in all, I can see that there was work put into it, I can see that there was the right thinking put into it. For the driving feeling, I give it 4 wheels out of 5. This is absolutely not a track for beginners, this is in any case a track for advanced drivers, and even those will have to train a lot until they can come through without any errors. And if you look at the races, not having any errors, not having any crashes is something that Detroit does normally not deliver, so be prepared to restart a couple of times. All in all, I can recommend it. The mod is not perfect, it has some errors and time has not been kind to it, but it's a lot of fun and it's one of the tracks with the best flow I've encountered since I've started doing this series. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please click on the thumbs up and share it around. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you already did, thank you very much for that. And until the next time, save fuel, collect rubber, and we'll see each other at the podium.
Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing fans.